Hey there folks, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports, and welcome to another edition of the Year of the Dog. And I want you to think back with me, back to when this series first started. Now, as you can tell, I'm not really in a good mood right now. Now, let me remind you why I was mad during that episode. You see, there are certain forms of media that I don't really like too much. One being digital media, which is for people to watch movies on either their TV, laptop, or iPhones. Now, don't get me wrong. It's cool to watch movies everywhere you go, but it doesn't feel the same as owning a DVD or a Blu-ray. The second being limited screenings. Now, like I said, during my blogs of Pokemon 20 and Marrying the Witch's Flower, the reason why I didn't see these films in theaters is because they were given limited screenings in selected cinemas. And, unfortunately, these cinemas were too far from where I live. And the movie I wanted to blog to start the Year of the Dogs was one of those movies that played at selected cinemas. So, I had to premiere this segment with All Dogs Go to Heaven instead. Do I regret talking about this movie? Well, no, it's still a good movie in my opinion, and I loved watching it as a kid. Also, I can't believe that Burt Reynolds passed away recently due to a heart attack. But now, thanks to its recent home media release, I can finally blog the movie that I wanted to start the Year of the Dog with. So let's get started. Released on March 23rd, 2018, the movie is Isle of Dogs. Now let's get started. When all the canine pets of Megasaki City are exiled to a vast garbage dump called Trash Island, 12-year-old Atari sets off alone in a miniature junior turboprop and flies across the river in search of his bodyguard dog, Spots. There, with the assistance of a pack of newly found mongrel friends, he begins an epic journey that will decide the fate and future of the entire prefecture. So, what are my thoughts? Well, I thought this was a pretty decent, but an excellent stop-motion movie. But to further explain why I enjoy the movie, let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie was produced by Indian Paintbrush and Wes Anderson's own production company, American Empirical Pictures, in association with Studio Babelsberg. In October 2015, Anderson, who had previously directed the animated movie Fantastic Mr. Fox, announced that he would be returning to the genre with a film about dogs. Anderson had said that he was inspired by seeing a road sign for the Isle of Dogs in England while Fantastic Mr. Fox was being in development. Anderson said that the film was strongly influenced by the films of Akira Kurosawa, as well as the stop-motion animated holiday specials made by Rankin Bass Productions. Production began in October 2016 at the Three Mills Studios in East London. The movie opened at the 68th Berlin International Film Festival, where Wes Anderson was awarded the Silver Bear for Best Director. It was given a limited release in the United States on March 23, 2018 by Fox Searchlight Pictures and went on a wide release on April 13th of the same year. Now, in my opinion, the stop motion for this movie is, well, it's okay to me. I mean, it doesn't really hold a candle to Rankin Bass, Will Vinton, Tim Burton, Ray Harryhausen, Aardman, or Leica Styles. No offense, Wes. The reason why I say that is because, in my opinion, the stop-motion models make the characters look like toys and dolls, instead of stop-motion puppets. But there are times when the stop-motion can be funny, like whenever there's a fight, we see a white dust cloud. Also, there are a few things I like with this movie. For example, I like the stop-motion model of Atari's plane, as well as the many different stop-motion effects in this movie. Also, I like that whenever we see any form of Japanese writing, we get to see a bit of translation captions next to them. Plus, the looks of Megasaki City does stay true to the Japanese culture. As for Trash Island, well, sure, it's an island that's a big junkyard, but it does look better than I thought. I thought it would be a bit smaller. Also, the story does feel very thought-provoking and serious, with some heart and humor in it. And I think, due to my experience watching this movie, both on DVD and on a plane to Tennessee last month, the dogs seem to stick out more than the humans do. Why? Well, it's because most of the humans speak in Japanese, though there are a few who speak English, like the interpreter Nelson. And, well, the dogs speak English instead of barking. Also, this movie does give a nice message about the relationship between humans and dogs. And now let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Let's start with Chief, voiced by Bryan Cranston. Best known for being in films like the 2014 Godzilla reboot, Madagascar 3, Kung Fu Panda 3, Argo, Rock of Ages, and the 2017 Power Rangers movie. Now, Chief is, well, quiet and reserved, and he seems to stand out from the rest of the pack. He is the only dog who was a stray, and he seems to have a bit of a biting habit. At first, he is aggressive and often tries to explain to Atari that he does not like him. However, he eventually does show some kindness for him. Next we come to our human protagonist, Atari Kobayashi, voiced by Koyu Rankin. To me, while this young 12-year-old kid doesn't speak English throughout most of the movie, Atari is a very relatable kid. In this film, Atari flew to Trash Island to search for his dog, Spots. Also, I think Atari is an intelligent kid, and his sling shooting and mechanism skills are incredible. Plus, I find it interesting how Atari can understand the dogs. Plus, Atari makes a great leader, and I like the part where he helps the dogs build boats in order to escape Trash Island. Next we come to the alpha dogs in Chief's gang. Rex, voiced by Edward Norton. King, voiced by Bob Balaban. Boss, voiced by Bill Murray. And Duke, voiced by Jeff Goldblum. In my opinion, these guys are very supportive to Atari while joining him on his journey to find Spots. Also, I think their dialogue can be very funny at times. Next we come to Atari's corrupt uncle, Mayor Kobayashi, voiced by Kunichi Nomura. This guy is a real tyrant due to the fact that he hates dogs and he abuses his nephew, Atari. Heck, he even turns down Professor Watanabe's proposal to find a cure for the dog flu. Later in the movie, Kobayashi plans to exterminate all dogs on Trash Island with wasabi poison and replace them with robot dogs. Next we come to Major Domo, voiced by Akira Takayama. Domo is a cruel and horrible man. While this is not really apparent, he has Kobayashi under his thumb, and he has, he's a big hand in much of the conspiracies going on throughout the movie. He's willing to seriously harm anyone who gets in his way in order to achieve his goal, which is shown when he started a fight with Kobayashi over the red button that would have annihilated the dog race. Next we have Tracy Walker, voiced by Greta Gerwig. Tracy is a foreign exchange student from Cincinnati, Ohio. She is on a student visa and she's a senior. She is also a pro dog and supports Atari and his mission. She also has a crush on him. Anyway, in my opinion, I think Tracy is a strong girl, and I really like her, shall we say, rebellious attitude, and I like that she hates Kobayashi. Plus, I think her dog, Nutmeg, is very pretty and quite a talented show dog. Plus, I think Nutmeg and Chief make a nice couple. The last character to talk about is Spots, voiced by Liv Schreiber. So, let me get this straight. The Storm King from last year's My Little Pony movie is now a dog. Okay, that's a nice shift in character, though I'm a tad curious about his next voice role, which will be in the upcoming Spider-Man film this December. Anyway, Spots is Chief's brother and was also a former guard dog to Atari. They were reunited during the battle at the bridge, which connected Trash Island to another island. I also like how Spots is very protective and loyal to his master. And he's a great leader to the outcast dogs known as the Cannibal Tribe. Other voice actors include Scarlett Johansson, Yoko Ono, Tilda Swinton, Angelica Houston, and Frances McDormand. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, I Love Dogs is a good movie, though the stop motion, in my opinion, isn't as great as several other stop motion films I've looked at. The characters like the Alpha Dogs are memorable and humorous. Chief is a tad stubborn at times, but still a decent character. Atari is very relatable, and he's an intelligent kid. Also, Mayor Kobayashi and Major Domo are both corrupt characters, even if I don't understand their Japanese language. Plus, the story is very serious and thought-provoking, that I don't really think that younger children should watch this movie due to a few inappropriate language, and some parts can be a little disturbing for them. But still, this movie has a good message about humans and dogs' relationships. So, my rating for this movie will be an 83% out of 100. Well, that's all for today, everyone. Be sure to join me again for my next vlog. Mustang Power. Oh, and to all my Japanese watchers out there, sayonara!